Assalamualaikum and good evening to everyone. We are from Group Saxon. We'll present to you the comparison of cyber law between three countries. Before we go to the main topic, let us introduce our team members. First, Anisolihah binti Ahmad, number matric 1190508. Second, Nur Adidana binti Ramli, number matric 1190525. And the third one is Nurul Humaira binti Muhammad Tarmizi, 1190571. The three countries that we choose are Turkey, Ireland, and New Zealand. This presentation will cover the topic first, cyber law of the cybercrime. Second, cybercrimes and punishment. Third, legislation for cybercrime. Fourth, thoughts and recommendation. And lastly, Nakli and Akli related to our topic.
Let us move to the first topic, cyber law of the cybercrime. In this topic, we will provide you with the definition of the crime mentioned and the law from each country. The first cybercrime is data breaches. Data breaches give us the meaning as an intentional or unintentional of secure or private or confidential information to an untrusted environment. Examples of this cybercrime are hacking, DOS attack, and phishing. Here is the law that will be taken for the person that found guilty. For Turkey, if they suspect that proven guilty of access to a data processing system, they will be punished under Article 243 of the TCC. But in Ireland, it is under Section 2 and Section 3 from the 2017 Act that will provide a suitable penalty if the person hack or send denial of service attack to a system. Next, in New Zealand, the suspect will be sentenced to punishment under Crimes Act 1961. It is under Section 249, which is accessing a computer system for a dishonest purpose.
The second one is unauthorized devices. Unauthorized devices are any hardware, software, or other information that would enable anyone to access a computer system without authorization. Each country has its way of managing the crime related to the unauthorized devices. Based on the offense of unauthorized devices, the laws that will be imposed on the criminal according to the country. Turkey, it is subject to the crime of using banned devices or programs. Regarding to the Article 245-A of TCC, device, computer program, password and other security are created or used in order to the purpose of commit crime. Ireland, the 2017 Act, Section 6, distribution, sale or offering for sale hardware, software or other tools to commit cybercrime. New Zealand, the crimes for unauthorized devices is belong to the Section 251, making, selling or distribution or possessing software for committing crime, and also belongs to the Section 252, accessing computer system without authorization. The third one is destruction to computer system. It is a threat that can be referred to as anything which can obstruct the normal activity of a PC either through malware or any hacking attack. The offense committed under the destruction to computer system. Turkish state will be linked to Article 244 of TCK, which is hindrance or destruction of the system, deletion or alteration of the data, while Ireland are under the 2017 Act in section which is infection of IT system with malware, and the last one is New Zealand under Crimes Act 1961 in section 250, which is damaging or interfering with computer system.
Next, the second topic is cybercrimes and punishment, where we will discuss about the crimes and what is the punishments that has been sentenced on the criminal from each country. For the country of Turkey, it is under accessing data. Any person who unlawfully enters a part or whole of data processing system or remains there is punished with imprisonment up to 1 year or imposed penalty 5. For the second, in case the offences defined in the above subsection involve systems which are benefited against the charge, the punishment to be imposed is increased up to 1/2. And for the third one is if such an act results in deletion or alteration of data within the content of the system, the person responsible for such failure is sentenced to imprisonment from 6 months up to 2 years. And for the fourth one is any person who unlawfully monitors data transfers within or between a data processing system or between data processing systems using technical means without accessing the system is punished with imprisonment from 1 to 3 years. And for the crime of hindrance or disruption of the system, deletion or alteration data, any person who hinders or destroys the operation of a data processing system is punished with imprisonment from 1 year to 5 years. Second one is any person who gables, deletes, changes or prevents access to data or installs data in the system or sends the available data to other places is punished with imprisonment from 6 months to 3 years. And the third one is the punishment to be imposed is increased by 1/2 in case of commission of these offences on the data processing system belonging to a bank or credit institution or public institution or corporation. And the fourth one is where the execution of the above mentioned acts does not constitute any other offence apart from unjust benefit secured by a person for himself or in favor of third parties, the offender is sentenced to imprisonment from 2 years to 6 years and also impose a punitive fine up to 5,000 days. And the last one is crime of using banned device or programs, which is a device, computer program, password or other security code who manufacture, import, ship, transport, store, accept, sell, put on sale. The person who buys, gives to other or keeps shall be punished with imprisonment from 1 year to 3 years and also impose a punitive fine up to 5,000 days.
In Ireland, although there is no precise standalone offence of identity theft or identity fraud in this jurisdiction, it can nonetheless potentially be captured by the more general offence referred to as making a gain or causing a loss by deception as contained in Section 6 of the Criminal Justice Theft and Fraud Offences Act 2001. This occurs where a person who dishonestly with the intention of making a gain for himself, herself or another or causing loss to another by any deception induce another to do or refrain from doing an act. This means the offender will face a fine or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years or both. Next, for unauthorized accessing of data which can be labeled as a person who without lawful excuse operates a computer within the state with intent to access any data kept either within or outside the state with intent to access any data kept within the state shall, whether or not he access any data, be guilty of an offence and shall be liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding €500 or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 months or both. Lastly, a person who dishonestly, whether within or outside the state, operates or causes to be operated a computer within the state with intention of making a gain for himself or herself or another of causing to loss to another is guilty of an offence. A person guilty of an offence under this unlawful use of computer section is liable on conviction on indictment to a fine or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years or both.
privilege, service, pecuniary advantage, benefits, or valuable consideration, or causes loss to any other person, and the punishments is: first, everyone is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 7 years if they access any computer system, and second, everyone is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years if they access any computer system with intent. Second, next is damaging or interfering with computer system, where first, everyone is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years if they intentionally or recklessly destroys, damage, or alters any computer system, if he or she knows or ought to know that danger to life is likely to result. Second, everyone is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 7 years if they intentionally or recklessly and without authorization or being reckless that can causes any data or software in any computer system to be damaged, fails, or denies services to any authorized users. Third, making, selling, or distributing or possessing software for committing crime. The punishment is: first, everyone is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years if they invite any other person to acquire from him or her to access a computer system without authorization. Second, everyone is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years if they have software or information that enable him or her to access a computer system without authorization or intent to use it to commit an offense. Number 4, accessing computer system without authorization. First, everyone is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years, intentionally access, directly or indirectly, any computer system without authorization. The law number 2 and number 3 is almost in the same situation, but the punishment for damaging or interfering with computer system is more severe since it can be involving danger to life and can affect the computer system, while the punishment for accessing computer system without authorization is lighter since it will not bring too much harm on the system. From the legislation for cybercrimes in these 3 countries, we can see the duration for imprisonment for each country is different. The punishment for the crimes is varied and depending on the judgment and laws taken on the crimes. Turkey and Ireland both have imprisonment and fine as the punishment for the crime. On the other hand, New Zealand only sentenced the imprisonment on the criminal, but it has the longest imprisonment periods.
Based on the legislation for cybercrimes in Turkey, Ireland, and New Zealand, we agreed that New Zealand is the firm country that practiced the best punishment on the criminal. The punishment, which is approximately around 2 to 10 years maximum based on the crime, will make New Zealand's crimes rate decrease since the cyber law itself shown that the country is strict and will take a reasonable act on the crime once caught. Other than that, the New Zealand's law under the crimes involving computer has 4 sections that punish the criminals based on the related crimes, and the longest imprisonment is 10 years for the crimes under destruction to computer system, while the other 2 countries only decide for imprisonment not longer than 5 years and some fine for law in Turkey.
Based on what we have learned from each country, these are our recommendations for improvement. Number 1, they should increase the punishment to the criminal by increasing the imprisonment duration and add more fines for both local and international criminals. For example, Ireland's healthcare system was hacked by a group of a hacker called Wizard Spiders last month on 16 May, which based from Russia or Ukraine, and then they not even fear of being caught, which will lead to more hacking activities. And for number 2 is to give more awareness to the public on how to secure their data by making an awareness campaign to expose to them about cybersecurity and crimes. The government also can share with the public what to do if they are the victim of cybercrime, like posting on official websites like a guide to the public on how to react if they are being scammed or fraud. And last, the country needs to pay more attention to cybersecurity by improving the security, like take serious action on every case that happened. Moreover, the countries need to be more proactive on par with other great countries and enlist the support of allies. I like to relate the cybercrimes with this verse from Quran, which is Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 190. That means, fight in the way of Allah those who fight you, but do not transgress. Indeed, Allah does not like transgressors. From the verse, we can learn that we cannot be an aggressor and violate others' rights by hacking, scamming, and destroy things that not belongs to us. We need to use the skills that we have in the right way, so we will not hurt each other, and most importantly, we will respect each other's life and privacy.